Hey guys, welcome back. So not having a will in Florida, not having a property in a trust and probate is an extremely complicated process. In this video, I've brought my friend Al Nicolleti. He is a probate attorney in Florida. He is the best around, and we are gonna walk you through who inherits property if no will in Florida. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Here's another episode I'm going to be giving you today with my friend Al Nicolleti, who is a amazing probate attorney in Florida. We're going to be talking about what to do if there's no will, who inherits the land, who inherits the house, what to do if you can't find the will, what is probate, and then if you've exhausted everything, if you looked everywhere, we're even going to give you places to look for the will. If you can't find it anywhere, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. Let's go. Thank you so much for jumping on during your crazy busy schedule. You just told me about 3 airports in a couple different states that you're going to be in the next 52 hours or whatever, 72 hours. Who in the world inherits the property in Florida if there's no will? So who better to have than Al Nicolleti, the best probate attorney in all of the state of Florida, answer the question, who inherits property if there is no will in Florida? Let's go, Al. Let's provide so much value to the person searching this. I assume they might have someone that passed away or a friend or family member or brother, sister, mom or dad, and you're just trying to figure out what to do.
Well, I got to say, Brent, love seeing you as always. I love making these with you and helping the land community and anybody else that is searching for this. It happens. It's a lot more common than you would think, right? So not a lot of people have the estate plans or the wills or even wills that are properly executed, right? There's actually formalities to a will being done. It can't just be just one signature. When you're talking Florida probate and wills, there's a whole formality. So for starters, not everybody has all those estate plan documents. So, what ends up happening is they find out that mom had no will, dad had no will, and they die. The property is in their name, in the mom or dad's name or a brother's name, right? It doesn't matter whose name it is. It's in their name, or it could be even a partial interest, right? It could be 5 people on title and one's deceased and no will. The first thing that you're thinking is, where's the surviving spouse? In Florida, spouses have huge rights to property. And that's the first thing that you're thinking is, wait a second, before we start talking to all these other people, where's the surviving spouse, right? So no surviving spouse. Who are you looking for next? The next people you're looking for, any children. Are there children ever? That's how I always say it's ever. Find out all children, not just surviving, but ever. After that, any grandchildren, any great-grandchildren. Finding out who they are in the line, that could be important as well, especially if their parent had passed. Then what you're looking for, let's just say there's no surviving spouse, no children. They call them lineal descendants in the legal world, lineal descendants, but none of those. Then you're going up to parents, no parents, maybe grandparents, no grandparents, great-grandparents. Usually that doesn't happen because the people that you're finding are probably in a certain age where the great-grandparents are no longer around, right? Sometimes the parents could be around, Brent. I've seen a handful of probate cases where the actual parent of the person that died does inherit the property, whether the parents are still together or they're separated. We've seen that before. But let's just say now after that, there's no parents around, right? Now we're looking at brothers, sisters, half brothers, half sisters. So even half blood heirs, that's what they call it. We're looking for full blood siblings and half blood siblings. It's crazy too, because if we start going to that line, Brent, let's just say I've seen a case like this where there were full blood heirs and half blood. The half blood siblings inherit half as much as the full bloods. So the percentages get really wacky fast, but the half blood heirs would inherit too at that point. And then let's just say none of those. You're looking at nieces and nephews, none of those. Now you're going up to aunts and uncles. And basically what happens, Brent, in very short, that's the basic premise to where the line starts going and who's next. But basically the line just keeps on going out to a certain point. And then we've had this case before too, Brent, where we thought, oh, there's no heirs. right? The person died, maybe brother, mom, and there's no heirs, right? Everybody's like, whoa, what do we do? What do we do? Well, it's crazy because in Florida, the next person that you look for is the predeceased spouse's line. So let's just say mom died, but her husband died before her, had allegedly no heirs. There's nobody in the line, up, down, around. Maybe a full-blown genealogist testifies to that. Then you look at the predeceased spouse's entire line and you start all over. And we saw a case like that where the investor found nobody. Then we go down the predeceased spouse's line and there ended up being 5 nieces and nephews. It's like, when you think there's nobody, it's very rare. It could happen, but that's what happens when there's no will. You do a whole lineage line.
I hope you're really enjoying all this free legal advice from the best probate attorney in the state of Florida. Let's keep going. But before we do, smash that subscribe button. I come out with these videos 5 days a week. And let's get back into the episode. You mentioned also probate, and I know you're a probate attorney. I'd also mentioned that as well. Could you kind of give like the layman terms example of what probate means?
Yeah. So basically, probate's a distribution process of an asset that somebody had when they died.
So like the land or the house would be the asset.
Right. So assets include, real estate, it could be a bank account, an IRA, a brokerage account, a car, things that are titled in that person's name. And they die. And the other thing is it could be an LLC too, Brent. Maybe that there was no operating agreement or it was just a single member LLC. Like there was nothing to control where the LLC went. Could happen. But generally it's in that person's name. Now to get it out of their name, to move it out of their name, there needs to be paperwork filed that lays the record, is filed in court, is reviewed by the judge, eventually hopefully is signed, that then says, these are the heirs. This is what they're entitled to. These are the percentages. And it's really a distribution of what that person owned when they died to whoever the true heirs are, the end.
So given that asset, whether it be the house, the land, the car, to the people that, either the heirs or the people that are going to inherit it, to the children, to the wife, to the cousin, or the nieces and nephews in that case. So probate just seems so complicated. And like, I'm in this business and I still struggle with it. So I can only imagine someone that's just lost someone, or the daughter or the son of, this gentleman that owns this asset, AKA the house or the land. And they're trying to navigate through the waters of figuring out how to get it because there's no will. Like no one ever plans to die, but we all die type thing.
I mean, at the end of the day, people think that it's complicated and crazy, but really many times it's pretty straightforward, right? So I've seen cases where the aunt died and she had no surviving spouse, children. I mean, we went down the whole line. There was a will and the will left it to the niece and 100% to the niece. So that's the true heir. If it's a valid will, it gets approved by the judge. That's now the heir of that estate, right? So there's times where it could be going to a niece. And if, again, like we talked about, there's no will. Now we're trying to go down that whole pecking order of who's next as the true heirs to that property or that estate.
For instance, if I pass away and I only have this niece and I've been telling her my entire life, this house is yours when I'm gone. And now I don't do the will. Who inherits it?
Yeah, maybe in another state, that kind of stuff flies with verbal statements. But in Florida, just because they say it, just because they talk about it, maybe it's like 3 days before they die or 30 years before death, there needs to be that will for that true transfer, for that to hold any value, because they may end up being next in line. We just don't know unless we do the analysis.
That's where we figure out who inherits the property if there's no will in Florida. You have to do that full-blown analysis. Now, where do I go if I am that niece and my uncle passed away? He's been telling me, everyone knows that I'm supposed to get this house, but he didn't do a will. So now what do I do?
One of the first things is try to see if there is one. Maybe you look around the house, maybe you look in the drawers. You never know where you find
everywhere.
one. Yeah. I mean,
you look in the attic, the walls, like even asked his 3 girlfriends.
Yeah. We've seen it. Brent, we've seen it before where they looked under the mattress and they found it. Yeah, they found it. They never expected it. There was another one that we saw where they looked in the glove box of the car and the guy totally disregarded any of the documents inside. And then he looked again and he was like, what's this? And it's like, it's been there the whole time. So you never know. Or there's times where when the attorney drafts the will, sometimes the heir, that the person that did the will with the lawyer, they may just have the lawyer deposit the will in the courthouse called the will deposit. So it stays on record so that if they pass, at least it's on record with the clerk of the court. That's another avenue to check if you don't know if they had a will is was a will ever deposited? But let's just say all those things kind of fall through and you're still like, I don't know, I don't have a clue, I don't know where to go. At a certain point, what we call just doing your due diligence and reasonable search and inquiry for where that will is. At a certain point,
search and rescue mission at this point.
Right. I mean, that's what they're thinking is like, what are we supposed to do? That's when then you would want to connect with the attorney to do like a full analysis of, well, even if there's no will, am I next in line? Maybe when you do a full analysis, you find out there was no surviving spouse, kids, no parents around, only one brother, sister ever that died beforehand. And maybe it drops down to you, the niece. You never know until you get the proper analysis of where the distribution goes.
Is that something you could help with in the state of Florida?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a probate attorney here in Florida, and I look at so many probates every day. I've seen things that are as straightforward as mom and dad and 4 kids ever to I've seen things with no heirs and how does that work and all the craziness that comes with that. I've seen things where wills are not properly executed and there needs to be a maneuver because maybe somebody was left out and now they got to be included. We've just seen so many things on different levels. At the end of the day, it's about figuring it out, solving the puzzle. I've told Brent, what you really got to do is look at this transactionally, right? As the puzzle, because it kind of breaks down to that as like where things go.
Absolutely. It is such a puzzle, but when you have the map of the puzzle or what the puzzle is supposed to look like, AKA being you, Al, helping you walk through it, it makes things so much easier. How can people get in touch with you and find you to get help with this sort of thing?
Yeah, Brent, great question. So some of the best ways is social media. So I'm on Instagram at Attorney Nicolleti, Facebook under Al Nicolleti, YouTube channel under Al Nicolleti, and you can check me out at www.alnicolleti.com, 904-999-0053.
Awesome. It'll also be in the description below this video. Guys, if you're dealing with this sort of thing, reach out to Al. Also, if you're looking to sell this property, we work with Al very closely in Florida. Head on over to zechbuyshouses.com. That's ZECH buyshouses.com. We'd love to help you out with that situation. We buy all over the nation, and I hope this video provided some value for you. And thanks so much, Al. God bless. And thanks for taking the time out of your crazy busy schedule to help us today.
Anytime, Brent.
See you later. All right, guys, I hope that video was absolutely helpful. And I am a house buyer. I am a property buyer. I'm a land buyer. I buy mobile homes all over the United States. If you have a property that you'd be interested in selling that you might have inherited, head on over to zechbuyshouses.com. Again, that's zechbuyshouses.com. Fill out the property form, and Chrissy or Jen will give you a call and see if we can help you out with your situation.